Shedeur Sanders' breakout performance could force Browns' QB trade. For the first time since Baker Mayfield defeated the Pittsburgh Steelers in the playoffs, the Cleveland Browns have hope at the quarterback position. With a sizable portion of the quarterback room battling injuries, rookie fifth-round pick Shedeur Sanders earned the start in Cleveland's preseason opener against the Carolina Panthers. The rookie made the most of his opportunity, completing 14 of his 23 passes for 138 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions, while adding another 19 yards on 4 scrambles. Obviously, it's too early to say whether or not Shedeur Sanders can be a franchise quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. Fifth-round picks rarely work out, and you should never overanalyze preseason results. After all, it wasn't that long ago that Jarrett Stidham looked like the inevitable heir to Tom Brady. However, if nothing else, Sanders' performance should be enough to elevate him on the depth chart, which could mean the end of one Cleveland's other quarterbacks. Browns could trade another quarterback after strong Shedeur Sanders' debut. As of this posting, the Cleveland Browns have 5 relatively healthy quarterbacks on the roster: Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, rookie Dylan Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders, and Tyler Huntley. Gabriel isn't going anywhere, as he's a third-round pick, and Cleveland will want to see what he can do on the practice field when he gets healthy. Huntley, meanwhile, only signed due to injuries and will probably lose his job once everyone is back to full strength. This likely leaves Flacco and Pickett battling for one job, with the loser landing on the trade block. While anything can happen between now and the regular season, all signs point towards Flacco winning the Week 1 job. While the former Super Bowl MVP is entering his age 40 season, he has played well in limited opportunities over the past few seasons. Pickett, meanwhile, crashed and burned with the Pittsburgh Steelers and didn't do anything during his short-lived tenure in Philadelphia. The lights in Cleveland burned a little brighter on Friday night, though the summer sky still clung to its late August warmth. The Browns' preseason clash had been billed as just another tune-up game, a chance for the starters to stretch their legs, the rookies to test their nerves, and the coaches to sift through depth chart questions that would make or break careers. Nobody expected Shedeur Sanders to turn it into an audition that could shake the quarterback room to its core. The son of Hall of Famer Deion Sanders walked onto the field with the poise of a veteran, his maroon and white cleats reflecting stadium light like polished chrome. There was no visible sign of jitters, no wasted motion in his warm-ups. When the first whistle blew, Shedeur's rhythm was instant. He carved through the defense with crisp, confident throws, short slants that turned into long gains, deep balls that dropped perfectly into the hands of streaking receivers. By halftime, he had racked up over 200 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and a growing chorus of Shedeur, Shedeur, echoing from the dog pound. A spark the Browns didn't plan for. Cleveland entered camp with what they thought was a stable quarterback situation. A big-name starter locked into a heavy contract, a trusted veteran backup, and a rookie meant to develop slowly. That was the blueprint. But football has a way of tearing up blueprints. Sanders wasn't just efficient, he was electric. He extended plays with his legs, buying time before rifling passes into tight windows. He commanded the huddle like he'd been in the league for years. And most importantly, he made the Browns' offense look dangerous. On the sidelines, the coaching staff tried to play it cool, their eyes darting between clipboards and the scoreboard. But they couldn't ignore what they were seeing. Neither could the front office, who knew that every rep Sanders took was making the quarterback controversy whispers grow louder. The trade talk storm. By the time post-game interviews rolled around, the questions weren't about preseason mechanics or playbook terminology. Reporters were already leaning in, probing. "Coach, if Shedeur keeps playing like this, do you consider making a change at quarterback? Would you entertain trade offers for one of your veterans?" The head coach offered the usual canned responses. "We love the competition. We'll see how camp plays out. It's just one game." But under the surface, the reality was clear. If Sanders kept this up, someone in that QB room was going to be packing their bags. NFL front offices don't like having expensive players riding the bench. They like having potential stars on rookie contracts even more. If Sanders truly was the real deal, it wouldn't just affect Cleveland's depth chart. It could reshape their salary cap strategy and long-term roster building. And there was no shortage of quarterback-needy teams watching, from prospect to pressure point. What made Sanders' breakout so startling wasn't just the stat sheet. It was the maturity behind it. Rookies often force throws, get jittery in collapsing pockets, or lose track of defensive disguises. Sanders read blitzes like a chess master, adjusted protections at the line, and took the easy completions when the deep shot wasn't there. It was the kind of performance that makes general managers start answering calls they wouldn't have taken a week ago. Fans felt it too. By the next morning, Brown's social media was a split screen of highlight reels and trade machine mock-ups. Some called for Sanders to start immediately. Others urged patience. A few even floated the idea of flipping the current starter to a contender in exchange for a high draft pick. In a league where injuries, bad fits, and desperate franchises collide every season, the thought wasn't far-fetched. The Dion effect. Adding another layer to the intrigue was Shedeur's pedigree. Being the son of Dion Primetime, Sanders meant he'd grown up under a spotlight, navigating hype and expectation from day one. The same charisma and competitive fire that had fueled his father's Hall of Fame career seemed to run through his veins. After the game, Dion posted a single line on social media. "If you're gonna shine, shine so bright they gotta wear shades." It was cryptic enough to avoid direct controversy, but pointed enough to let the world know the Sanders camp believed in what had just unfolded in Cleveland. What comes next? The Browns have 3 preseason games left. If Sanders keeps stacking performances like this, the decision may be forced on them sooner than later. Do they risk benching a proven veteran for a rookie, gambling on upside over experience? Or do they trade from a position of newfound strength, cashing in on a market that values quarterback play above all else? The answer might depend less on Sanders' readiness and more on the team's appetite for change. For now, Shedeur remains locked in. "I'm just here to do my job," he told reporters, his tone even and his eyes focused. "If I keep working, the rest will take care of itself." It was the kind of response you expect from a player who knows the NFL isn't just about talent. It's about timing. And Shedeur Sanders' timing might be perfect. The Browns came into the preseason with one quarterback plan. Thanks to their rookie phenom, they might leave it with a completely different one, and a phone full of trade offers they didn't see coming.